Hi everyone! Welcome to Artsonia's After School Art Club. Today we have a fun art project from Mrs. Green, an art teacher from Kansas. Hope you enjoy the video and don't forget to have your artwork uploaded to your Artsonia gallery.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Green. I'm a kindergarten through 6th grade art teacher in Kansas, and this is my 6th year teaching. I look forward to showing you this lesson today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For this project, we are going to create a Halloween landscape. The materials that you are going to need are construction paper or watercolor paper, a pencil and an eraser, a paintbrush and water, watercolor paint, tempera paint, black and silver, and photographs of some different Halloween silhouettes. So I went ahead and just looked on Google and I found these photographs, and I will be using these ones in mine, but you can find all sorts of different Halloween silhouettes. Another thing to point out is a normal pencil and eraser is good, but it is also good to have a pencil that has a softer lead. So I'm going to be using a 4B pencil later on. I will use a normal pencil for all of my drawing, and I'll show you where I use that other pencil later on in the video. Let's get started. The first thing that I went ahead and did on my piece of paper is I took a circular object. So I used this paint tray here. This is going to be our moon. So I laid it on my piece of paper and I traced around it. We are going to be using warm colors on our moon and cool colors in our sky. So warm colors are colors like yellow, orange, and red. And then we're going to be using those cool colors in our skies. I'm going to be using lots of blues and purples. Pink isn't a cool color, but I might use a little bit of pink in my sky as well. Let's get started. The first area I'm going to paint on mine is going to be my sky. So I'm going to get my paintbrush wet here, and I'm going to be using different cool colors for my sky. I think I want kind of an ombre effect where it changes from one color to another. So I am going to, I think, start with this purple down here at the bottom. I'm going to try to not get paint on my moon. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video for this part, but I'm going to just transition from these purple colors into blues. Alrighty, so I am done painting my sky. I'm going to let it dry for just a few moments before I start painting my moon. That way I'm not painting wet paint next to wet paint, because then I might end up having my colors mix in ways that I do not want. Alright, so my paper has had some time to dry a little bit. One thing I'm going to do before I paint my moon is I'm going to place something over top of my moon so I don't get paint on it. I'm going to lay this right here on it. If your object wasn't solid, you could always get a piece of paper and cut out a circle to lay over top of your moon. We are going to be splatter painting some stars into our sky so that we can see other things that are happening in our night sky other than just the moon. So I took some silver tempera paint and I watered it down a little bit. I'm going to use my paintbrush and I am going to do a little bit of splatter painting. When I'm splatter painting, I like to hold the back of my brush and just kind of tap on it with my finger here to create my splatter painting effects. If that's not working for you, you can also use your finger and brush it along the edge of your hand there. But I think that's good. You could probably use other colors too if you'd like. You could use some gold, but I'm just going to use some silver for my picture. Alrighty, I'm going to gonna set that to the side, rinse my brush, and then I am ready to work on my moon. For my moon, I am going to be using warm colors. So colors like yellow, orange, and some red. I'll go ahead and speed up the video. Alrighty, now I have my moon painted. I'm gonna let my picture dry completely before I move on to this next step. So the next thing that we need to do once our paper is completely dry is to add our ground and all the silhouettes that we are gonna be putting on our paper. One trick that I wanted to show you is with the printouts that you made, we can transfer the image onto our piece of paper. So if I wanted to do this cat here, I can take a pencil. It works best if you have a pencil that has a really soft lead, so a 4B would be a great example. If I take that pencil and I shade the back side of my piece of paper, I can transfer that image onto my drawing. I want to make sure that I get a nice solid amount of lead onto my piece of paper. It should look like this and not like this. If it looks like this, it's not going to transfer. You need to have a nice solid amount of lead down. You also need to make sure that the whole back side of your image it has this lead on the back of it. So let's see here. Need to go a little bit higher up here and maybe just a little bit more over on this side. All right, so I will take my picture here. And then I will take my cat. Because my paper is so big, I'm going to go ahead and kind of cut out where my cat is, so that way it's easier for me to tell where I'm placing my cat. So I think I want my cat right here, overlapping my moon. So I'm gonna sit it here. I might want to tape down my cat, so that way it doesn't move around on me. I'm then going to take a very sharp pencil. With that really sharp pencil, I'm going to trace around the edge of my image. So whatever your image was of, you will trace around the outer edge of it. This is going to transfer that graphite that's on the back of our piece of paper onto our actual drawing here. Whoops. You're going to do your best to try to trace along the edge. I kind of got off the edge of mine there a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video while I am tracing here. All right, so I went ahead and I finished drawing what I wanted on my picture. I made a tree over here. I have a cat that I had transferred onto here, and I made a jack-o'-lantern. I think I'm gonna leave the inside of my jack-o'-lantern's eyes and mouth, so that way I placed it over the moon, so that way it would be glowing orange. I also added a few bats. The final step, once you've got everything drawn on your paper that you want, is to take some black tempera paint and to get started painting. You want to make sure you really take your time, especially on your areas where you have your fine details. You want to make sure you don't sit your hand in wet paint. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video, and you'll be able to see what my finished project looks like. All right, so I am finished with mine. One thing I forgot to mention is you'll want to make sure you do this in an area where it's either okay to get paint on your table, or you could put down some paper towels or a large piece of paper under your piece of paper so that you don't get black paint on your table. You'll also want to make sure that you continue the paint all the way off the bottom edge of your piece of paper. You're not going to want just a line here. You're going to want to have it filled in solid so that you'll have this nice solid black bottom and all these silhouettes of your different Halloween items. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed this project.